Ever since the term artificial intelligence was coined in the 1950s, humans have been trying to design ever more intelligent machines.
Over the last few years, science fiction is starting to become science fact. Now we have AI devices such as Alexa and Apple Watches in our homes, and many others, in fact. Well, joining us now are two AI experts who will be telling us about the opportunities and the risks that AI presents. Dr. Emlyn Go is the VP, CTO, HPC and AI at Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and Clara Durodie is the Executive Chair of Cognitive Finance Group. Welcome to both of you to Sibos TV. And Dr. Go, if I can begin with you, where are we in the AI journey? What is the current state?
There has been a recent wave of AI activities in the industry. And this came about from the fact that compute and data is now well available for people to leverage. And as such, machine got intelligent through learning. They call that machine learning.
And Dr. Go, why is the use of AI accelerating now?
Yes, as indicated before, compute resources became low cost enough, number one. And number two, storage became also low cost enough for people to hoard the data. And these two combine to allow us to feed the machines and get the machine to learn through data as opposed to through the rules that we humans give it. So the traditional way of artificial intelligence has been domain experts, humans, coming in, giving the machine rules, and then the machine makes prediction. This new way, when you have lots of data, is don't give it rules, human rules, but give it data instead, and it learns from the data.
Okay, so given all of that, Clara, what are the benefits of AI?
The benefits of AI, there are multiple, but I will mention a few which are relevant to our industry. I'm a former practitioner, asset and wealth management, so I still continue to believe that I'm part of this industry. So one of the benefits of AI in our industry is personalization at scale. So personalization, it means that we can look after clients in a personalized way, irrespective of the number of clients we have at scale. So when we have the possibility to scale our businesses at this level, then naturally that is a business opportunity, that's business growth. Personalization, it's also a fantastic tool to serve our clients better. I'm a great believer in going back to our roots, which is in our industry, looking after our clients in the best possible way. And AI gives us this absolute unique opportunity in the history of our industry as financial services. Personalization at scale. I believe this is the most important benefit AI brings to our industry.
Dr. Go, how does AI learn?
Well, the traditional way before this new recent wave is, as I've said, you get a domain expert, say in finance industry, trying to price derivatives. What derivatives would be priced at, option pricing at in the future. They, in the past, would bring a domain expert in and use probably the Black-Scholes equation to create a model to make a prediction. Right? This new way does it differently. Right? This new wave does it differently. It doesn't call on the domain experts. They're still important. They do it their way. And then this new way uses historical data to feed the machine. Then but you need lots of it, lots of examples. And for each examples you feed the machine, it goes through a trial and error process, and eventually after hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of examples, it gets to a state that it can start predicting well. Now you have these two ways of making prediction. Right?
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Okay, so now we know how AI learns, but the question, of course, Clara, has to be, what happens to that learning? Where does it go from there?
Well, we have to, the way I would look at this, it would be, again, in the context of our industry, and I think the learning is what we do with the outcome of the work machines have done, and we can translate it into objectives which support our businesses, our clients. I am a strong believer that this technology needs to follow business strategy, not the other way around. So we need to see where the businesses are going first, what is our direction, where do we want to take the business, and then we use AI as a tool to follow and to deliver that kind of strategy. So that's where the learning should go, in a sort of more philosophical way.
Yeah, in fact, it's more augmentation, especially now, right? You don't do away with the domain expert. You don't do away, absolutely not. They're still the gold standard, right? What you do is you augment them with this new way of intelligence that came from examples.
Yeah, someone was asking me the other day, it's like, what our core competency is to look after our clients in a personalized way on a face-to-face basis. This is our core competency. What we're going to do once AI is here? And I said, but your people will continue to deliver the same, but augmented with more information, relevant, personalized to their clients.
Clara, how do we make sure that AI doesn't learn our biases so it doesn't reinforce our prejudices and inequality?
Well, I believe that our insurance policy against all of this is to build very diverse teams, teams who build these products, teams who deliver these products. So diversity, gender, religion, you name it, it's, I would argue, one of our core insurance policies.
And we need check and balances, right?
Yeah.
Biases happen in both ways, right? Human-created models are biased by the domain expert deciding what rules to put in it, in the model. Examples created models, right, through machine learning, are biased by the person feeding the data, the type of data the person feeds. So biases are still there. And in the former case, we had check and balances to manage those biases. We have to then have regulators also understand the new way and have check and balances for them too. Yeah.
But then the question which comes out of that, and it's unavoidable, I'm afraid, is this issue of privacy, Dr. Go, because we're using AI technology in our homes, we're wearing it, and I guess the question is, how can we retain our privacy in our homes and, in fact, in our social spaces? Because the bottom line is that if we're not being observed, we're certainly being listened to.
Yes, that's, I think there are many ways to answer this question. I think from the social point of view, we can decide what devices we install and what devices and when we switch them on if we install them. I think in the very same way, whether we decide to be on social media or not, right? That's one thing. And even if you are on social media, how much do you say? So I believe humans still will have control, at least in the near future that I can foresee.
Sure. So there is personal discipline. You can't get away from that.
Yeah, that's right. And then you can make the decision.
Yeah. I mean, this is a question to put to both of you, because there is a fear factor that some people have when you talk about AI, and to some it was perhaps reinforced by the writings of Professor Stephen Hawking, the main concern being that AI could lead to mass unemployment. Should we worry about that, or perhaps are we overblowing the relationship with AI in that context?
I would say that we are approaching, or actually we have entered the new era where we will need new skills, but the same people will stay. So it's a case of learning a set of new skills to make us relevant to the needs and requirements of this era, which we have approached. Humanity has gone through a similar case, Industrial Revolution. It's such an example. So I always encourage people to look in the future and be intellectually curious and excited about what this technology can bring, and then embrace this intellectual challenge. It's an enrichment. So same people, new skills. I don't embrace this fear mongering.
Okay. And Dr. Go, from your perspective?
I have a lot of respect for Stephen Hawking. I worked with him and built systems for him since 1997. So multiple decades of working with him. And he's justified with his thinking, right? But the part of the reason I believe is because we humans have come through a long history, if we talk about history of conflict, right? It's through conflict that our history evolved, right, till today. So we naturally will feel that if something is different from us, it will be a conflict before it is resolved, right? However, do note that with the most recent approach to machine learning, called reinforcement learning, we don't even use examples at all. No human history examples, but just getting two machines, like in a game, to play each other. All they are given is the rule of that game. And some of these systems developed to a point where when humans played with the machine, they felt that the machine was a little alien because it didn't evolve through history from humans. Yeah. In fact, you see that word written in commentary. So if an alien came and didn't have the history of conflict, yeah, I have a slight hope that you would be more benevolent. Yeah.
If we sort of extend that line of thinking a little bit further, how do we shape and design our AI technologies so that they extend our individual capabilities rather than replacing us?
Yes. Yeah, it is the augmentation. So I've been in consultation with many different regulators and government units, yeah, and the key word must be augmentation, because today's AI, at least in the next decade, will be very, very narrow, right? The narrower you make it in terms of it asking it to make a prediction, the better it is, right? So, or recognize objects in images, very, very narrow, right? Right, but that particular AI system wouldn't be able to play chess or Go, right? It's very narrow, specific, yeah, siloed, yeah. So it is because of that it will be a good augmenter to humans. Yeah. Number one. Number two, if machines make the correct decision, we humans have to be there to make the right decision. And I think as we go forward, the difference between right and correct will start to will start to demarcate. Yeah, yeah. Because socially, it might not be acceptable. The correct answer might not be acceptable.
And Clara, as we continue with the AI journey, there are other pressures involved, ethical frameworks, for example. So in regard to that point, what do governments, corporations, and in fact individuals, we, the users of AI, need to do?
I think when we look at that very important topic, we need to appreciate that we, as humanity, we're entering an era where we need to have some thinking, some philosophical guidelines through this to guide us through the next stages. And as you mentioned earlier, it's a case of really looking into what machines can do and what can happen to us, primarily at a philosophical level. And I believe that philosophy has never been such an important discipline to think about and to challenge ourselves, to think whether the rules of the games and the rules we've played so far, our life and engage in a society, will be the same, and to what extent will they change. So we need to have some systems in place to think about ethics, to think about how this technology will, once deployed, augment our capabilities and will not become something which we'll not be able to control. So three main values, I would argue, apart from the fact that I always say algorithms have parents when it comes to the responsibility of developing and deploying this technology. This technology has to have human-centric values. They have to have positive values. And we have to keep the human in the loop, exactly as you mentioned. So a control system to them. So this would be three ideas in the discussion around ethics frameworks.
Yeah, we still must be the purveyors of emotional roles, while the machine will handle the logical roles, at least in the near future. Yeah.
An absolutely fascinating discussion. Dr. Go and Clara Durodie, thank you so much for joining us here on Sibos TV.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Thanks, Clara.